for now. Welcome to Biscuit Tin RPG, everybody. Here to go ahead and say, yes, we did just promo a fantastic new release that we have. A little bit of extra information here. Not only is Legend of the Shroud out, working on getting the physical copies, which will be delayed slightly again because I just found out while I was looking through some of the files that the cover was jacked and I didn't check it before I added the cover. So that's going to get done eventually. So there will be 6 copies, limited edition of a janky cover. So those will be available at my next convention. You're welcome, society. That being said, if you want to help support our channel, please do so by heading over to biscuit10rpg.com. Going over to the releases. If you want to pick up a copy of this campaign that we're all playing, you can do so there. As an affiliate of Storytellers Forge, I get to do that. Also, if you haven't done it already, go find Chronicles of the Crossing on BackerKit and back it. We got 4 fantastic authors up there kicking ass, writing book about the story and settings inside the setting itself of the Sun of the Crossing. So go give some dollars to some awesome authors. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump back into the campaign proper with a short recap. A recap. That's probably on point. Red to Black Session 7, which I don't remember what we titled it last time, so I'm not going to go over that. Oh, wait, I can scroll down. This day needs to end. All right, perfect. There are both a lot that happened and a bunch of nothing that happened as well. One, Rosina has left her home because she is, and I quote, not a math nerd. Riva and Augustine managed to get a lock of Velo's hair and subsequently put themselves out of a home. Icarus has begun experimenting with shards of divinity and gaining new powers and insights into Invars. Issa has been revealed to be none other than Frankie, a previous little kid whom sparked the conversation as to whether you should hit children during the events of the Red Opera, and sparking a large difference in opinion now. All have managed to gather some sort of garb for the shepherd's feast, and now we wait. Will the crew work for Riva's unknown allies, or will they simply wait for the feast? We find them all regrouping in front of and around Benny's lodgings and taking a long needed rest from their day before they make their decisions. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, everyone, while you don't necessarily sleep because you're dead, but taking a rest, some of you actually do have visions. We're going to go ahead and start out with Rosina. Rosina, as you sit there, Benny's given you lodgings along with everyone else, so you have a place to stay. Deciding that you kind of made your peace with what you want to do with your future, kind of add some direction to yourself. You find yourself in this vision standing in the shadow of Nox Valar, its towers stretching endlessly into the sky. The city itself feels distant, like a fading memory into the mist. The world shifts beneath your feet, and suddenly you're no longer in the city proper. Golden wheat sways around you, mixed with ash, fields stretching as far as you can see. The air hums with power, ancient and silent, pulling you forward. You begin to walk, your footsteps light as if the ground itself welcomes you. The wind stirs, carrying the scent of something old, familiar, like the essence of things long forgotten. You've heard of this place, where Inver's once walked. His journey, his choices, his sacrifices. It's here in the air, in the very ground beneath you. The wheat bends and shifts, swirling with the ash as a storm brews on the horizon. It twists and turns, chaotic, wild, but within the storm there's a glimmer, an unshakable light that calls to you. Your heart beats faster as you recognize it, not as something to possess, but as something that waits for you to understand. The storm edges closer, and the ground beneath you feels alive, pulsing with the energy of worlds colliding. It's not destruction you feel, transformation. Above the storm reflects something deeper, a struggle inside of you, the desire for purpose, the pull toward power, the need to find your path. Then, through the chaos, you sense it, presence, guiding you. A soft, unspoken voice calls, not from the storm, but from within. You simply hear it say, "The shard awaits." You walk forward, closer to the heart of the storm, where the lightning crackles and the sky itself seems to tear apart. But even the maelstrom, there's a stillness, a moment of clarity. And there, in the eye of the storm, you see it, glowing faintly, shard, waiting for you. You reach out, not for a simple object, but for the understanding that lies within. As your fingers brush the shard, a warmth spreads through you, a flood of knowledge, of insight. You see the path stretches, you see the path that stretches before you. The first steps of the journey Invar's began. And then you awake. You find yourself sitting in Benny's lodging. Your hand is clenched, gripping something tight. You look down to see the shard, small and glowing faintly as you open your hand. It crumbles into dust, the remnants slipping through your fingers. The shard has given you what you needed. The knowledge is yours, and the path is now yours to walk. So that's where you find. What in the. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Thanks for breaking that out. What link are you talking about?
The one you usually post in
One of
poster
the
stuff.
streams you got going on.
What? Find them. It's on YouTube. Look up Biscuit Tin RPG everywhere. You know what? Fine. Let me go ahead and spell it out for everybody. I decided to do something crazy tonight. We are on Twitch, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. If you don't know how those work, I don't know how to help you. In terms of posting it in the thing, you all know what the link is too. Post it for me and use the black valid interest. Please. Thank you. Now, my headache is subsiding. Let's hop back into it, shall we? Jesus Christ.
We are your headache.
All right,
I need to
bastards.
send you money to your Venmo. Are you okay?
My head actually hurts now. All right. Hang on, I'm going to cough, and I don't want to do that right in front of everyone's ears. In front of them, yes, I said that. I said it out loud. And I caught myself, and I'm not even sorry. All right, let's go ahead and move on to person number 2. Frankie, you find yourself standing in front of the countertop where you normally wash dishes, and your vision blurs. You find yourself in a surreal landscape, colors swirling around you like paint on a canvas. Shape and forms shift and shimmer, but nothing feels anchored. You stretch your limbs, and as you do, you change, your form adapting effortlessly to the flow of the world around you. One moment you are tall and lean, the next short and stout, each shape reflecting a part of you that feels both exciting and unsettling. Where am I, you think, and the question hangs in the air unanswered. The vibrant hues pulse around you, inviting yet disorienting, and for a moment, you simply exist, vibing in this ethereal space. But deep down, there's a tugging sensation, a whisper that reminds you of your uncertainty. You don't know what you want, what your heart truly desires. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts, the colors dim, and a figure materializes before you. A blue tiefling with a mask at their hip, a presence commanding yet oddly reassuring. Their eyes glimmer like stars in the night sky, and a red sash sways gently at their side. Ah, Frankie. They say, their voice smooth and echoing, wrapping around you like silk. Wandering without purpose again, are we? You swallow hard, feeling feeling exposed under their gaze. You respond with, "I'm just exploring." But your words sound weak even to your own ears. The tiefling raises an eyebrow, amusement dancing in their eyes. Exploring or avoiding? You have the gift of change, yet you linger in uncertainty. What do you truly seek? You want to respond, to declare a desire, but the words escape you. The weight of indecision hangs heavy, pressing down on your chest. With a flourish, they gesture, and the landscape shifts again. Dreamlike images float by, glimpses of what could be, adventures, companionship, laughter, and warmth. Each vision sparkles with possibility. They slip through your fingers like smoke. The figure responds, "If you can but name your heart's desire, I can grant it." They offer, their tone a blend of temptation and challenge. But without clarity, my gifts will remain out of reach. You take a step closer, curiosity sparking within you, asking, "What do you mean?" Desire is a compass, Frankie. Identify what truly resonates with you, and the path will reveal itself. Until then, you drift, a leaf on the wind, untethered. Their words echo in your mind, stirring something deep inside. What do you want? Adventure? Purpose? Acceptance? You've been so focused on the freedom of change that you've neglected the need for your direction itself. The blue tiefling watches you with an intensity that almost feels predatory. Consider it, and when you are ready, find me. I will offer you what you seek. And just like that, the world begins to dissolve, colors swirling faster, the images blurring into one another. You feel a pull, a desire to grasp onto something solid, but it fades away as you awaken. Your heart races as you stand up, the dream still vivid in your mind. Their words linger like an echo, urging you to reflect. What do you truly desire? You may not have an answer yet, but the journey to find one begins now, if you wish. Augustine, you find yourself in your new room, trying to set it up as neatly as possible. After dealing with your handkerchief pet, you take a bit of respite and you lay down on the modest but comfortable bed. Suddenly, darkness swirls around you, not the consuming kind, but a calm void that feels oddly familiar. You stand in the midst of it, your senses alert yet unafraid. Slowly, the void gives way to fragments of light, and you see glimpses of past. The first sight, fate, half elf, the half elf who captured your heart. You stand together hand in hand beneath a shattered sky, the crackling energy of the well of souls in the distance. Fate's face is full of wonder, though her eyes hold uncertainty. Something you had always sensed about, something that you had always sensed about her. The hesitation of one burdened by a fate she didn't choose. You reach out to Fate, brushing a strand of gold hair from her face. The dream shifts, the scene unraveling into a new memory. Majin. The entity's presence is lively but distant, dissonant against the warmth you remember from Fate. You stand before the blue tiefling, your voice steady as you make the deal, your heart beating fast despite your outward calm. "I'll be the bridge," you said, knowing what it meant. You promised yourself to an unknown end to become the path between fate and life if the need ever arose. Another blur happened, taking you back to the moment of your death, an echo of your sacrifice. The light in your soul flickers as the world crumbles beneath your feet. You become the bridge, the lifeline that fate would cross. Your essence bound to the Shadelands in eternal service. A smile creeps across your lips as you remember how fate had screamed your name. But you only feel peace. Fate lives. That had always been enough. You suddenly find yourself standing in the heart of the Well of Souls, standing among faces all familiar, the green dragonborn, the dancing fighter, the problematic monk, the little goblin, the Calden kind with too many magic items, and more, though you don't recall how you know them all. Standing beside the towering pillars, crackling with otherworldly power. It's then that you notice Fate there, alone in the center of them all, touching the ancient core of the well, making her own bargain. Your heart swells with pride and sorrow, knowing that the path your beloved will walk. That's when you feel it, a new surge of warmth. something unspoken yet deeply understood. Fate's love has reached out across the veil, intertwining with your own sacrifice through the well as if she always knew it would happen and could do nothing about it. You awake, or so it feels. The dream still fogging your mind, you sense a new power within yourself, a gift given by fate, a part of her heart. And as the fog clears, you are left with the feeling of her warm touch in your hands and the silage of her scent in the air, as if she had really been there, if only for a moment. And with that, we go to Riva. Riva, it has been a very, very long day. You finally have a moment of respite to yourself. Sword, as you so lovingly call her, forms into her natural body and sits at the edge of the bed, looking at you expectantly.
Uh, it's been well. I'm. Is it? I don't want to call you by the wrong name. Um. Uh, is it really yours? You're not messing with me again, are you?
No, why would I do that? It was fun teasing you for a bit, but let's be honest. We've both been so busy kicking ass that, you know, it never really came up before now. We didn't have time to stop. You were so busy fighting me, cheering you on by taking the blood of others.
I'm. I'm sorry. I should have asked you sooner. I guess.
Okay. You still have my hilt.
Well,
That's a joke. It's where my heart would be.
I got this. Yes. Well, uh, Lirael, will you please forever be mine? And will you be Lirael Armstrong with me?
Of course. The fact that there was ever a doubt in your mind is laughable, but of course, yours I will be.
I think Riva kind of kneels before her and takes her hand and just kisses it.
And we're going to do a fade to black because we know where that's going. Yes, there is a moment of peace within you and Lyriel herself as you have officially named your sword. And with that, um, a certain amount of peace in your mind. Icarus, you find yourself in your room, kind of calculating all of the knowledge that you have attained thus far in regards to your the shards that you've gotten your hands on. You realize now that the shards are merely stepping stones, and that you have gathered enough information now to proceed with the path that you have chosen for yourself, should you choose to do so. So the rest of your night is silent contemplation, and we will start up with everybody kind of having a long rest and meeting probably in the common area of Benny's kitchen. Benny obviously is out cooking. Frankie, if you're up, she'll probably grab you and have all of you helping making food, cleaning dishes, etc., so that everyone has something to eat if they choose. So we find ourselves after all that has taken place, and you're all kind of sitting around the table deciding what to do next. I hand the reins over to you all.
Augustine actually takes an immediate opportunity as breakfast is being finished up, kind of like pulls her hair up back from her face and ties it up, pushes her sleeves up, and surprisingly starts cleaning up the table, which you wouldn't think that Miss Prim and Proper would know how to do, but she very much does not like not cleaning up after herself after a meal, feels it's only, you know, polite. So she's gonna busy herself with that and not make eye contact with anyone.
Icarus is gonna wash the dishes.
All right.
Well, uh, if you all are not too busy, I was offered a job to go and spy on the two people we captured, and they're willing to pay us. So I thought you all might be interested. If you aren't, I'm just gonna go do it myself. But they did offer it to all of us.
It's
Who?
a job,
Who offered?
honey. You're gonna work yourself to death.
Okay, it's very funny. Haha. Yes. The people offering it to us are the what's the royalty called? The the
those
guards.
The Pale
Those
Horseman.
guys.
Yeah, but she's acting like she she doesn't know.
Okay.
So they're offering it us, and they will give us the coins, the Crossway coins, in return for getting information. I think it's worth it. I want to keep an eye on Rizel or whatever she's calling herself now. And it's not like you all are doing anything productive. So
Fair point. Should I put my other face back on? Like, I know realistically they're gonna.
if you do, I'll punch you.
I mean, that's fair. It does not change me asking the question because they respect Issa. This is just some person, which, don't get me wrong, has been great when I've had to do like spy nonsense, but like, what are we aiming for here? Because I can do either one. It's just something I'm gonna have to fix.
Well, I don't know.
Like, for practicality purposes, I know you have every reason to be pissed about this, but like, what's gonna be easier?
I think maybe when you get paid, maybe you can switch back to it. Otherwise, I don't really see a reason to.
Oh no, I mean with the dead guys we're gonna go talk to, 'cause
Oh.
they're all fairly recently from up top, and
I
they
think-
don't know this face.
You don't think they know Issa?
Oh, they know Issa.
That's why I said, yeah. I'd stay as this or something else. We're trying to not know that we're listening in and trying to figure out what they're up to.
Okay, works for me. Just figured I'd ask, because it's doable. I just need a minute.
How much do you want to have to explain the whole situation over and over and over again?
I mean,
Let
if I'm just going into Accursed who already know Issa is Issa, it's not gonna matter much. But if you guys just picked up a stray, I doubt they're going to question that either.
Yeah, true. Do what you want.
Figured I'd ask, because they'll probably either tell her stuff that they wouldn't say to you guys or not, and I don't know which one's going to be more helpful.
I'll leave that up to you. I
Okay.
think the plan here is going to be splitting up into two parties. One's going for Mr. LaCroix, not him, but he's like under, whatever. And the other one's going for the vampire lady. And I have a feeling none of us are gonna let me go after her. So I guess I'm on, the guy. So how are we splitting this up? Do you feel? We could always just pick straws for it.
I mean, I'm fine with taking Rizair, Kelzel, whatever the fuck she's being called these days, because at least with this face, I don't have any beef with her. And considering everybody and their mother seems to have beef with her, that's, I think, as close to a neutral party for conversation as we're going to get.
All right. Well,
As Augustine kind of like comes back in, she just chimes in with, I think what we're not considering here, Frankie, is what you would want. I mean, you literally had to wear someone else's face for I don't even know how long for the sake of a cause. You want to be yourself, be yourself.
Being myself isn't always the most helpful. And I don't like if I am enjoying being me, but if it's for like a quick run to figure out better information so we can move closer to whatever we're all collectively doing, that's also fine. Like, it's still
If you want.
gonna be me, it's just what's going to make this go faster.
True, but well, I mean, Reva and I have both traveled with people who don't always make the path the easiest. Specifically remembering someone who liked to punch children, but we still made it work. We still found ways that their own personal skills could be useful. Give yourself some credit.
Does this mean you're actually worried about me, Auntie Augie?
Do not call me that.
we've known each other for like what, 6 hours now?
I
No.
mean,
I knew Frankie from before. We both did. I was the one who told Unya to stop hitting Frankie.
Whatever.
I can start
Augustine
calling you
takes
Auntie
a
Reva,
big
but I'm going to
towel.
have to take about 30 steps back when I do it. So, starting
Augustine
with the
takes a
safe
dish,
option and working my way up.
dish towel from over her shoulder and just throws it onto Reva's face. Nice.
Why should I? He's
Because
been lying to us since he got here. How do you know that's
No,
really Frankie? Anyways,
I can keep peeling, but eventually it's just going to hit bone, and we already kind of have a Johan running around. Wait, speaking of, where is he?
you're there. He got smashed into pieces.
Didn't he die?
That doesn't
Yeah.
seem, that doesn't seem to be
no,
like a
he,
permanent thing around here, though.
it's not permanent. Johan will be back.
So
I think I've
Alright.
heard some crazy
that-
stories from Johan in the past. So
yeah, so all of you with that kind of like revelation of thought, go ahead and roll for me an intelligence check, whichever one you want. Whether it be history, arcana, whatever.
can I do history and get advantage because I've known Johan for a while and maybe have heard about
Yeah.
what could happen?
You can roll with advantage just simply because you've been here long enough to know the lore.
Big 11.
Whopping 4.
Okay.
26 in Arcana.
Okay.
16 history.
Okay. All right. So
Uh,
everyone. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
23 history.
All right. Cool. Everyone who got a 15 or higher, you know that the way that the Sunless Crossing, from how it's worked, from your understanding, is all of the people that you've talked to say, yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen very often. People are already dead here, but there has to be a balance. So if someone were to happen to die, basically what happens is they turn to ash, and within the next day, sometimes not even that long, they will come back down. That being said, it has been over 24 hours since that incident, and there's been no sign of Johan. And with how much Johan was like invested in just checking up on you all, it seems odd.
Augustine, is that something we should worry about before or after we're doing stuff? Like, can we put a pin in that for now?
I suppose we can go put the pin in it.
It's not gonna get
Johan,
any
I
better,
would
is it?
say no, and Johan is also a very resilient, resourceful individual. I think that's the best thing I can call him. If something has happened, he'll figure it out until we find him.
Yeah.
So we can put a pin in that, I would say.
Maybe he thinks we just don't need his help anymore.
No, no, that is not how Johan functions. Johan is, do you know the cliche of how us gays are gossipy and very, very nosy and we like to know all the tea all the time?
No idea.
That's Johan, but without the gay. Johan is worse than my brother about being nosy, and that's saying something.
Are we sure about the not gay?
What,
No,
you
I just
interested?
don't want to make any assumptions.
That's fair.
Don't call him Bone Daddy for no
mean,
reason.
Well,
Jail.
I'm so
maybe
glad I
for
hadn't quite
Johan
taken a drink
Bone.
yet.
maybe he just moved on. You know, finally got his chance to the upper plains.
If he had,
Johan
we
likes
probably would
Ikea.
have heard him from the rooftops.
That's fair.
Well, in any case, what are we gonna do? Look for a guy who doesn't exist?
Fair point. And we do have something to focus on, so I guess we're off to see a psycho and a mostly elf?
So Icarus actually isn't interested in doing this. He has a lot on his mind, so he's actually gonna go to Invars's temple, the Temple of the Shepherd, and just kind of go meditate and maybe ask around if there's been any concerning changes in the Shadelands.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
All right. So in that case, you will very easily and very quickly find yourself heading down to the road of eternity and finding the temple open to you, as for whatever reason they recognize you upon entrance. They walk you back to a meditation room, and we'll give you some time, and we will be back here in just a moment. Now, the rest of you, there's only one real way out of the city, so it's just a matter of heading that direction.
Anything you guys want to do before we leave? No, no last minute shopping.
We've had 3 shopping episodes. Can you guys please do
You sure? You
something?
want to do a little bit more? Maybe we can go pick up another dress.
We will drag this series through molasses to slow it down.
This is what you get for making a campaign filled with the girls and the gays.
Yeah.
Did someone say shopping?
Ooh.
All right, let's
Fix
get out of
something
here.
real quick. Let's do this. Hang on, everybody. I got to move some stuff around. Okay. Apologies for that. Looks like we're on the right spot now. Okay. All right. So you all find yourselves walking towards the enduring threshold, which is the main entrance to the city. Wandering towards the outside to kind of do some cursory investigation. Obviously, the first stop you would probably hit is the junction. So, as you walk through the enduring threshold, the once peaceful fields of golden wheat stretching out before you have become crowded with desperate and hopeful souls. Hundreds of them litter this section of the fields, some wearing the singed uniform of the legionnaires, others the dented armor of the accursed guard, each war scarred in its own way. The rest of the wandering souls, from the very young to the eldest dwarf, seem free of such scars. Most are dressed in a similar fashion, and occasionally hum an eerie musical tune or pluck scarlet-colored veins from their newly reformed bodies. In the distance, you see void ravengers, demons, and other dangers to the Sunless Crossing are held at bay by the Nixian Guard patrolling the skies, while Ashen Shepherds pry apart skirmishes and direct confused combatants away from the junction to their respective growing encampments. Legionnaires to the west, the Cursed Guard to the east. As you approach the junction, Quello will greet you all warmly and say that unfortunately there's no room or much time for you all, as the junction appears to be overflowing with lost souls. The souls gathered around will openly talk to anyone that is willing. If you wish to talk and gather information, go ahead and tell me what you would like to do.
I'd like to ask Quella if there's anything that we can do to help them right now, because like I don't know what's going on. I don't know necessarily who to talk to yet, but I can at least direct people where to go and break up fights.
Quella is very rushed and hurried around the establishment. She's like, I don't know. I mean, for the most part, it's peaceful here. We're pushing the different factions out towards their encampments. So for the most part here, it's fine. If you want to learn more about what's going on out in the fields, there are a ton of souls that you can talk to. Most of them are amenable. So it's kind of however you want to do it.
Okay, good to know.
All right.
I guess I'll just ask around and see if I can get information as what's going on, like topside.
Okay. Um, so go ahead and roll. How are you trying to gather this information? You just trying to chit chat with people?
Yeah, I think
Um,
I was
okay.
chatting with them.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
11 plus 10, 21.
Okay. That is well beyond what I needed. So you find a few people here and there. They don't really know what's happening, but they do know that fairly recently, a war has broken out in the Shadelands. They speak of Lacroix's return after years, and the fact that for whatever reason, the the previous I guess, stoppage to resurrection magic in the realm has been uncorked. So people are returning, or at least they were. But since then, Lacroix's return has kind of ignited old wounds between him and the king. Some of them speak with reverence to one side or the other, but for the most part, they're all just kind of shooken up by how out of hand it's gotten. And they do say things about let's see here. Uh, what's a piece of information you would give? Yeah. So, one of the things you get is that ever since Lacroix's return, the sky has gone black, um, and there are more aberrations than ever. Now, they're not sure whose side is causing it, but it seems that after the events of the major catastrophe when the well exploded, there has been an uptick in kind of arcane, forbidden knowledge seeping into the Shadelands, and very recently it has spiraled out of control. Aberrations, undead seem to be popping up out of nowhere.
Of
So,
these spirits, do any of them, like, I assume they look kind of similar to us, like, at their peak or whatever. Do any of them look to be is there anyone who looks like they might have been maybe higher ranked or even is recognizable who might A little higher up in the hierarchy in the city?
In the terms of the nobility in the Shadelands, here there's no real distinction. It's been a long time since you were in the Shadelands proper, so a lot of those people that you would recognize, you don't see around here. There are some people that obviously comport themselves a bit different and they stand out a little bit, but they are as shaken as everybody else.
I mean, kind of on that same vein, is there anybody that I would recognize?
You see a few people that were working with the Legionnaires and vice versa. Give me a perception check, or rather,
Yay.
investigation, since you're looking for something specific.
I am awful at both of those. You know what? Better than I expected. I'll take it. 17.
What?
All right, 17. You actually find one of your old war buddies. The unfortunate side effect is he
I was about
doesn't
to ask one of mine, or
he does not recognize you as you are now, but you are very familiar with him. He
Okay.
knows cursorily of you, but not necessarily you proper.
got a name?
Uh, James.
Wow.
What a unique name.
Absolutely not
James
something that you came
McJameson.
up with on the
Wow.
spot.
Were you expecting Mr. Bo Shambles? That guy's a zombie.
That's a dog.
Also a zombie.
I expect nothing, and I'm still let down. I guess I'll go talk to that guy.
Okay. So you approach James. He seems a little less shaken up by the entire thing, but that probably comes with the fact that he's been fighting a war almost nonstop for at least the last 5 to 6 years. He was one of the people that was uh, triggered and highlighted as a spy, kind of going behind enemy lines and gathering intel.
Ah,
Someone cut from the same cloth as yourself.
funny how that works. I'll go up to him and say hi and see if he knows what happened to himself.
Yeah, so you walk up and say hi. He looks at you for a second and just goes, Frankie, is that
Yeah,
you?
most of
Where
me.
the You've been gone for years. When'd you get back? Obviously you didn't. I'm confused. I'm happy to I'm not, well, it's a weird place to be. I'm a
Finish it
little
then.
happy to see you, but I'm also very sad because it would appear that you have also died.
Yes.
Well,
Funny how that works out, given where the last time we both encountered each other was.
yes. Well,
Do you know how it happened for you?
me? Oh
Yeah.
my God. Let's see here.
No pressure, DM.
Yeah, no, it was weird. I was out there doing some recon on the accursed guard. You know how we fight both sides sometimes, just depending
I
on who
do.
gives us the most coin. Well, specifically me anyway. But anyway, no, I was out there and I was doing some recon on in the forest. You know, back where that massacre happened years ago.
Mhm.
And coming out of nowhere was this crazy looking I don't know, like an undead tree some sort. Uh, Set it on fire, but after that I just started getting sick, and well, I don't know. I start coughing up blood, and I don't know. I probably contracted some sort of undead virus disease, something like that. I don't know. Point is, this is about 4 days later, and I just didn't wake up. Woke up down here, very confused, very disoriented. Almost got stabbed by one of my old buddies, and then he saw my face, let me go.
I mean, you're doing better than I was, considering I died getting stabbed by people. So,
I mean, I almost.
congratulations, I guess.
I mean, that's probably why I don't know. Maybe I guess. I guess. I guess the whole Hall of Odin ain't real. You know. Uh, You died in battle and you're still here, so maybe
Eh,
my faith was misplaced. I don't know.
it's more of a backlog situation by the looks of it.
Ah, all right. Well, I mean, I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting to see what this whole thing shakes out to be. Looks like it's going to be a shit show, quite
That's
frankly.
right. Out of curiosity, since I've been down here a hot second longer than you, how are things going up there?
Oh my
Like,
God, it
obviously
is.
bad, but like,
My God, ever since Lacroix got back, it has gotten out of hand. You know that old feud that they
he's an
had, like what,
asshole.
some 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lacroix coming back didn't really tighten things, and then when Fate left, um, there was no peacekeeper anymore, so they just decided to go full bore, pull out all the stops. Last time I saw them, they were up there fighting on a bridge.
It's too much to hope they're both shoved each other off in the span, isn't it?
Oh my God, I don't know. I ran. I'm not
That's
that type
fair.
of guy.
It would
I
have
am
solved a
recon.
problem.
I'm recon, not DEFCON. All right, so woo, rough. Lots
Well,
of people dying up there. Let's just say it's what do you call it? It's
bad.
bad. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice colloquial way to put it. It's bad. I would not recommend. 0 out of 10 stars.
Anybody else that you've met down here that we would both know?
I mean, you personally, I don't know necessarily. You've
That's
been gone for quite a while. Um, let's see.
Anybody Auntie Issa would know?
Uh, well, considering, I mean, yeah, there's quite a few people down here that she'd know, but they're out.
That wouldn't
They're out
want to
there.
kill her right when they fucking see her?
Oh.
Let's narrow it down a little here.
You should have. She should definitely avoid both camps. Because my understanding is they kind of figured out what was going on with our little insurgency. And
I mean, we weren't
well,
subtle, but yeah.
even after she died, we kind of carried on a little bit. And I mean, we kind of, let's be honest, we fucked up a few things. They know that we were playing both sides, and now they're pretty pissed at everybody. So we
I
kind
mean,
of like a lot of us
they were
left.
before.
Yeah, but now it's a little more on the nose, so to speak. So a lot of people are just leaving, staying away from the shade lands.
Might be the
People
smartest
just
thing
leaving by the
anyone's done.
droves. I mean, we should have left. Place is a
Yeah.
hellhole.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
in terms of people that she'd know, other than the people in the camps, you got one out east and one west. Direction's funky here, but over there
Left
and over
right,
there, yeah.
heard.
There's various camps all throughout the place. The main camps we haven't been able to find yet. Um, I say we, meaning me, because I'm just trying to keep an eye on where not to go. There are a few like basic encampments that I've been meaning to go to get some information to learn some things. Been working with these pale horseman fellas.
They
Um,
seem like good folk.
I mean, they're terrifying. Let's be honest.
They can be both.
Yes. But yeah, there's a few camps really close to here you can get some information from if you play your cards right. Make sure that if you do see Issa in the event that she's here, don't just just have her go on. It's not going to be a good look for her.
Never was. Alright. Good talk. I'm just gonna fist bump and head back to the group.
All right. Turns around, starts drinking an ale. All right. Rosina, Riva, anything you two? Well, I mean, Augustine, anything you two are doing?
So, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Augustine at this point is kind of just observing because she's not 100% certain on the best questions to ask, and a lot of the people, at least to her, look to be lower level enough that she's like, okay, you're probably not gonna have the answers that I'd like you to have. So she's kind of just observing right now. She'll help Quella if she can because she's helped Quella before, so she knows the ins and outs. She'll go do that.
Quella is very difficult to pin down. She'll just ask you to like carry out some food to different people. and just trying to like kind of calm people down. If you want to play music to soothe or whatever while you're here, is definitely a thing to do. That's an option. So I'll let you do that. Rosina.
I think I'm sort of curious about the situation in like, are there more and more and more souls coming? Like, how long have people been here? Just trying to get a sense of what the situation is developing into.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me a persuasion check to ask around a few questions.
That is not good. That's an 8.
It's okay. There's a few people that you don't really get anything like coherent out of them. There's several that you talk to that think they remember the Sunless Crossing itself. Uh, maybe that they were here just a few days ago when their village was raised to appease an evil warlock's patron. And now they're back and can't get the sound of music out of their head.
They get the sound of music out of their head.
There's a go ahead when they say that. Go ahead and give me another perception check.
That is a 10.
All right, it's fine.
Oh wait, perception.
Yes.
No, actually, sorry. That is a 15.
15. Let me see if I got this real quick. So you hear, like, as you actually kind of take in that moment and you start kind of listening just in general around you, you hear a kind of repetitive, like, beat, like a drum beat. It's fast paced and then slows down at points. And then as quickly as you recognize it, it's like you've heard it, like ever since you've been here, but as quickly as you recognize it, it stopped.
Huh. I think because Augustine is musically inclined, I will go to her and ask, have you heard the drum beat since we got here?
I don't know, DM, have I, with my insane perception?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you. You kind of actually thought about it, and you just kind of packed it up to like just a melody in your mind that you've been working on this entire time. But now that you're thinking about it, it's not yours, but it's always there.
Yes, actually, I didn't think much of it until now. I didn't realize that I heard it. For a while, I thought it was just in my head. I could probably recreate it if I tried.
These souls are all saying they can't get it out of their heads.
Who said it specifically?
There's a few people around that you've gotten that from. And the more people you ask about it, the more people actually say, yeah, it's in my head too.
I have an idea, and it may not. Did they seem unsettled by it, or just curious, or?
No, it's strange. It's equal parts unsettling, but it's also strangely comforting. And they can't really explain to you why, but it's melodic. The drum beat, the more you think about it, it's less fast paced and it starts to slow down. And it just feels like a hum reverberating through your veins.
And people are still kind of like a little bit chaotic, a little bit of like panic going on right now.
I mean, you've been playing music for a little bit, so for the most part, inside the junction, it's calmed down. But outside, obviously, people are worried because you still you actually kind of look outside the window and you realize that the flares and fires coming down from the vortex in the sky have not ceased. In fact, it's growing exponentially. More and more, and the more you look, the more souls you see pop up in the Sunless Crossing. And they look around dazed, confused, unsure of where they are. Like it's written all over their faces. They don't know what's happening. Some of them warriors, some of them women, children. Some of them look like farmers that had no place being in a bloody fight.
I want to do something, but I'm going to need something for it. Let me see. Okay, I actually don't need spell components for this, not physical ones.
Okay.
So because I can see that there are women and children, I would like to, if you think this is plausible, step outside. Not really like hide it at all. Make like Augustine has a presence. She's sure the others will see that she's stepping outside. She's going to summon her griffin with Fine Greater Steed. She wants to go kind of do like a circuit over the people who have dropped, mainly like women, children, farmers, not really caring about the soldiers, but the people who look like essentially civilians.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to vocally recreate not the actual drum beats, but the rhythm of it, since it seems to have like a calming effect, to try and catch their attention and start directing them out of the way of danger, and kind of, Johan would be proud of this, shepherding them back where they can have some safety inside.
Okay. Because this beat has been in your head, I'm going to allow you to do it at advantage.
Okay. With my plus 18 performance. 33.
Fantastic. You begin to play this melody beautifully. It's almost as if it has its own accompaniment. It is equal parts calming, unsettling. But then you realize that there's something dark at the core of this sound. I need you to make a wisdom save.
That's a little rude. I don't know why you would ask that of me. That's rude. Oh, beautiful. Natural 20 for a 24.
Fantastic. You barely hold on to yourself as playing this song unsettles you so deeply that the very sound of it coming from either like whether you sung it or hummed it or played it on an instrument, it shakes you to your core. It took everything in your power not to become frightened of the feeling of the inevitable conclusion of something, the end of something. And as soon as you realize that, you stop playing. Consequently, everyone else that can hear that, there is a 50-50. I'm going to need me to find my own dice. Jesus, I prepare for the session, but I don't grab my dice. What the hell's wrong with me? Let me go ahead and pull out the ballad dice. All right. Because what's more fitting than the ballad dice? See, there's 4 others of you. I need Reva and Frankie to make wisdom saves as well.
You know what's great
As
is
you
I
hear
imagine
this,
her.
as you hear this music floating in from outside.
3
Despite
I
my
imagine
count.
her
0.
singing it, so like I feel like it sounds like an eldritch version of a siren song almost.
Haunting.
It's that Lauren Paley chick that sings in the stairwell to scare her neighbors.
18?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Reva, whatever you're doing, you stop. You are stunned. You are held in place by what feels like pure terror. Effectively, you are incapacitated for 2 minutes. Frankie,
Upon
you
realize-
are fine. Go ahead, Augustine.
Upon realizing that this tune is having negative effects, Augustine wants to switch gears. She's still doing the circle on her griffin. She's gonna switch gears and go to basically a wordless version of one of the ballads she has written. So, like,
Okay.
she's going for something that is soothing, that is calming, that feels kind of like a warm blanket kind of thing that she herself has written, because she's like, okay, this is someone else's work and it's clearly got something dark tied to it. I feel like I can imbue my own song with something to kind of push that back and help calm everyone properly.
All right. You begin playing to kind of counteract some of the things. You evoke a ballad that brings forth and evokes the emotions that you have felt the longing for these 19 plus years. Almost 20 at this point. A little bit over 20 now. It inspires love, courage, over adversity. Everyone that was suffering from the effects, this temporarily frees their minds from it, and they are listening. Reva, you are no longer stunned. You come out of that feeling like you're a spirit, but even you broke out into a cold sweat at the realization of what that song did to you.
I guess I'm just gonna look for Augustine, see if I can find the source.
Okay. While that's happening, you're gonna go look for Augustine. She's pretty easy to find outside. Rosina, Frankie, what are you two doing?
Well, I didn't suffer any effects of this.
Nope.
I don't know. Just looking around, seeing if I recognize anyone, if there's anyone that it seems like I should talk to.
No, unfortunately, you don't really recognize anybody. For the longest time after you made your deal, and you were forgotten, you left the city and kind of started blazing your own path. Anyone that you recognize within the city is probably much different or long gone. So most of the people that you see are just peasants, townsfolk, that sort of thing. So unfortunately, there's not much information you can gather there. You do gather a few more pieces of information, though. And one of them, besides the recalling undead rising a day or two ago in their homeland, after witnessing that horror, that's when the tune started that everyone's talking about. The only thing you really get is just some additional information about the Legionnaires and how, ever since Lacroix came back, they've begun once again known for defending the realm against creatures from beyond, while the Accursed Guard were known for plundering the depths of long-lost arcane secrets, which kind of harkens back to what you were dealing with back when your original party was together trying to stop the well from its inevitable explosion. So it seems like things are kind of resetting. That's what you've gathered. Like, ever since Lacroix came back, things reset back to where it was, but there's no balance anymore. The balance literally is just hell on the Shadelands.
Like that.
Go ahead and cut over. Icarus, you are currently meditating. Your thoughts are racing with your future and the path that you are trying to cut for yourself. There's a flash in front of you as a figure that you don't recognize stands before you, and simply just looks at you and says, "You've begun your journey. But in order to take that which you want, you will have to give up everything. All that you know and hold dear will be taken from you if you pursue this course. The stranger does not give up easily, and while you were a plaything, if you continue down this path, he will see you as an enemy. So be prepared if you continue down this path."
You say I'll lose everything, but I had nothing to begin with. All I had was my little adventure, and had been working against him for a very, very long time.
The figure responds and says, "You have been working against him for a very long time. But until recently, you did not have the power to challenge him. Tread lightly, and do not make your motives known. For he has eyes and ears everywhere, even here, beyond the veil." And as quickly as that happens, the flash happens again, and all that's left in front of you is a simple piece of parchment. And on it is various symbols in a language that you don't understand.
Which says a lot, knowing how many languages I know.
Yes. So you will spend the rest of your meditation ciphering those symbols and trying to figure out what this means and why it was left at your feet. All right. Let's go ahead and head back to the party. After probably an hour or so of questioning the people at the junction, you realize that you've kind of tapped this information out. Like, there's nobody here that can say anything more than it's already been said. You have options. You can either head to one of the encampments for the Legionnaires, or you can head to one of the encampments for the Accursed Guard, or if you're feeling ballsy enough, you can split party. But cool. I'm here for all of it.
I mean, I'm down for a party split.
So after a few minutes, kind of, you all finish up your individual investigations. You all kind of meet around one of the very crowded tables, but you manage to push some space in for yourselves, and you find yourselves back deliberating with each other. I throw it back to you. What do you choose to do with your time?
Well, if we want to split, we should decide who's going where.
I'm like 80% sure that Lacroix was the one who killed me, so if I end up near his camp, I'm probably gonna throw hands. Like, I don't like the
80%.
Accursed better, I just like my odds over there better.
Do you not remember how you died?
There were a lot of people stabbing in the general vicinity. Like, there was a lot of swords I could have gotten thrown onto.
Fair enough.
I think I would also prefer the accursed guard. I am not fond of the look of the other armor, for obvious reasons.
My group killed Lacroix. I can kill him.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Lacroix.
Oh,
or
we
the
killed
old
him as well.
men.
And then he tried to kill Fate, which in turn killed me, and I hold a grudge like my life or death depends on it.
So you two are going to Accursed Guards, and then us two go to Legionnaires?
Yeah. I mean, we killed Lacroix, but the worst we did to Dorian was punch him in the face, and I'm gonna be honest, he probably also knows that he deserved it, so it's fine.
I don't know. He's one of those guys that's like,
He's
he
an
thinks he's
asshole,
better
but
than
he's
everyone
self-aware.
else.
I mean, to be fair, Frankie, you were not there when that happened, and I was dead, so he has nothing against either of us. Because
That's
people like me wouldn't have a
actually
sense
fair.
against us.
That's an anti thing that I had to remember. So yeah, no, you're right. Technically, you and I are fine.
Okay. So you two with the Accursed Guard, us two with Legionnaires.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little dice roll here. Evens, we're going to start with the Accursed Guard. Odds, we're going to start with the Legionnaires. And I rolled
Quick question.
odds. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question for transport purposes. I do have my Griffin out there. Augustine's not a very large individual. Could that Griffin technically carry both Augustine and Frankie?
Frankie
Cool.
can turn
That
into
might-
a tiny gnome, for all you know.
I mean, I can. It's just gonna hurt, but like, yeah. What do you need?
No, you should be fine. I really don't weigh all that much.
Alright.
Odd was Legionnaires, right? Yes. I don't care what I said. That's what I'm going with. We're going odd. All right, Legionnaire crew. Let's do this. All right. So, you find yourselves wandering through the fields of wheat. It is absolute chaos up here. Despite the fact that there seems to be skirmishes going all around, they are way too busy dealing with their own shenanigans to really notice passerbys. Not to mention the fact that you all kind of look like you can handle yourselves. We have the two beefiest ladies walking through the Shadelands side by side, ready to kick ass. So no one is messing with you. There's a few people that give you a side eye and then immediately go, nope. I remember both of them, no thank you. So we find ourselves eventually, probably about 20, 30 minutes later, at the Legionnaire camp. It's easily accessible by simply asking questions. You get stopped at the front, and one of just a faceless, nameless fella that I'm going to name Jimmers. He says, "Halt! What business do you have in our camp?"
I'm buying you a baby name book for this shit.
Shut up. I could easily do this, but I don't want to. I like Jimmers.
We want to go chat with. What's his name? Hold on. Do you remember his name? Oh my!
Oh man, you guys did great. I'll let you have a roll off for it.
Yeah, I'll roll for it. Sure.
Go ahead and roll intelligence.
-1 to this shit.
I got a nat 20.
I got an 8.
Woo! All right, Rosina, you have a flash of insight. Janos.
Janos! We're looking for Janos.
Yes, we want to go talk to him.
Right, they actually, the guy goes, "Oh, Janos. Oh, you two look familiar." He actually said he was expecting you. Said if you guys were to come up here, to go ahead and let you in. So he motions to the other guard off behind him, off to his right, and he goes, "Hey, take them to the tent." Another nameless, faceless guy named Steve. Steve the Legionnaire. Legionnaire Steve. He walks up and says, "Hey, folks, I'm Steve. I'm a Legionnaire. I'm dead. Thank you for coming to my Legionnaire talk. Follow me, and I'll lead you over to Janos's tent." He walks you through, kind of says, "Hold up for a second." Walks into the tent first. You hear inside kind of a murmured, hushed whisper of, "Hey, it's those guys you were talking about. Actually, ladies, two of them." And you hear like what sounds like an affirmative on the other side. And Steve, the Legionnaire, walks out and motions you both in, says, "Janos will see you." You walk in. Janos looks much better than he did the last time. Although, strangely, roll perception.
Really good. 25.
Uh, 19.
Right, cool. You actually both notice it. Rosina, you're not quite sure what you're looking at. It looks vaguely familiar. The only thing you have for reference for it is your companion here. Riva, you on the other hand immediately notice that there is a stitch going down Janos's arm. You peg Janos for what he is immediately. But other than that, he greets you warmly and says, "Hey, welcome to the camp. What brings you all the way out here? This place is hell."
You're telling me. We wanted to ask a few things while we're passing by.
Uh, sure.
Mostly we're just kind of curious on what's going on out here.
Uh, uh, isn't it obvious? We're kind of preparing for war.
Right, but we're really planning on doing a war and out here?
I mean, it's not like we really have a choice. It's spreading.
What is
I
spreading?
I don't know
War?
what it is. I mean, yeah, the war is spreading, but something else is spreading much faster. Much faster. As he looks down at his arm. He goes, "I'm not like this all started because of the accursed guard and that stupid idiot. Lacroix and Dorian have picked up their feud. We brought Lacroix back because we wanted to bring an edge and kind of put a stalemate back in the city, but that hatred, that rage, it came back with him. And it hasn't gone well. Last I saw them, they were both still fighting. There are people out there looking for them as we speak in case that they found their way here. But no, I don't have much information other than what we have been doing on our end. We're just simply trying to regroup. We're in an unknown territory. We have enemies all around us and an unknown inside that city.
What do you mean? What, like the monarchy there? You're scared of them?
It's not that we're scared, it's that it's an unknown. You know, we're trying to learn.
You could get to know them, then they wouldn't be unknown.
Yeah, you tried asking?
I mean, the last time I was in that city, I got thrown in chains. So I'm not
Well,
really looking to go back.
I think that might have been because you fell out of the sky with the vampire lady.
Yeah, that wasn't really my choice.
What was happening there, anyways? She killed you, and then you both came here at the same time?
We killed each other, and it was brutal.
Hmm.
She is everything and nothing to me at the same time.
Elaborate.
I can't. I don't have the words. It's complicated. Let's just say that.
He really wants to bang her, but they fight a lot, it sounds like.
That's always what it is.
Well, how did LaCroix is back, but how? You said you've managed to do that. How'd that end up happening? We just kept trying it and just worked one time?
No, it was actually discovered by accident. Um, he looks around at some papers that have been written up. He's been writing, and he pulls out a what appears to be an old journal, and he goes, "We found out probably about a year or so ago that so you obviously were in the Shadelands for the trial that it went through. But for the longest time, resurrection just didn't work. It it was just something we all had all but given up on. However, some random traveler that came in without knowledge of what was going on had lost a dear friend, and they brought her back. At first, it was just rumors. And after probably a few months, we tracked down the people and confirmed when and where it happened. Um, and the powers that be, not necessarily me, mind you, they pulled some strings and may have inadvertently started one of the most horrific scenes that has happened to the Shadeland since that first fateful event 20 years ago.
You're being very vague about all this. No offense, but you say someone else pulled some strings with what? A god, a patron?
No, 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 no. It was actually we were doing some contracting with a mercenary group, um, led by oh shit, that's her name, Sierra. Uh, she'd started a little war band to try to help us fight off Dorian's menacing everything. Um, and they had made some inways with I guess a cleric. Uh, I think what was it? I went by Alios. Um, they pulled some strings and they made a deal, and Alios performed the ritual that brought Lacroix back from the nothing.
All right. Well, back to down here. You're preparing for what you feel like is an inevitable war.
Yep.
Who's leading the other side, as it were? Do you know?
Who's leading the other side?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Dorian, but we haven't seen him come down, so it's mostly just scattered generals and obviously Kelzair uh, making her rounds, offing people as she sees fit, leaving ash in her wake.
So you're planning to fight Dorian's generals in Kelzair.
Right now, we're not really trying to fight anything. We're recruiting any that are willing to fight, um, and kind of shoring up our defenses, as well as gathering information.
It's you say you're not preparing the fight, but like you're not going to fight, but it's inevitable at this point, right? Both sides are building up camps, building up forces. At this point, you're just waiting for it to break out, just so you can say, "I didn't throw the first stone, I reacted." So it's
I mean, to be fair, it's happening above us or around us. I don't know. I'm not sure where we are in reference to the material plane at this point. but it's already happening. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's when, and both sides have already thrown blades. We're just we're on our end at least, and it looks like on their end, it's gathering up the scattered remnants of the fallen. Kelzir
Hmm.
obviously being the weird one, the odd one out, so to speak.
Is she with the Cursed Guard, or is she just kind of fucking around and doing whatever she wants like usual?
For the most part, she's with the Cursed Guard. She's one of the generals.
Fair enough.
I don't like. She's been that way since the beginning. Her
Uh,
methods are unorthodox, but I suppose that's why Dorian used her.
Should have took a detour just to come get me, but you know.
What's
Well-
what's going on with your arm hand situation here?
Go ahead and make a charisma persuasion check.
That is another nat 20.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
For 22.
All right. He hesitantly looks at his arm and then looks back at you. And he goes, "Look, I don't know exactly what's happened to me, but I've been struggling with the new urges here in this place. Before I died, I was once a vampire myself. And I still crave the essence of those around me, but not their blood. I can feel myself unraveling at the seams. And I've learned that the only way that I can continue to live is to feed and consume on the souls around me to bring myself back together. But I don't want to. I can't bring myself to do it. I just hope I have enough time left to stop Kelzar, because she has no such compunction.
Well, we wish you luck.
I've got some stuff to do, but feel free to talk to the men around camp. Just don't start anything, please. That's all I ask. We already have enough trouble at our
I won't.
gate, so to speak.
I won't try to.
Wow. All right. So as that conversation wraps up and you find yourselves walking out the gate, the tent, so to speak, we're going to go ahead and transfer over. It's been about the same amount of time. It's been about 20 to 40 minutes. And Party 2.0, you find yourselves at the Cursed Guard camp, one of their outposts.
Huh, they've been here long
And
enough
you-
to have outposts. I hate that.
it looks like one of the larger ones. So you are stopped at the front gate, just like the others were. A guard who identifies himself as Zanzibar stops you and says, "Halt! Be you here for consignment?
What?
Are you ready to be
Oh.
conscripted?
No.
Then why are you
Yeah,
here?"
just
He looks at you,
Oh, he-
Augustine, as you're trying. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's me. Augustine. Go ahead and respond. He stares at you intently.
I don't remember the sticks up the ass as being this large. No, we're here to speak with Kaizel? I don't remember what name she's going by.
Okay.
Augustine fully doesn't care that she openly said she doesn't remember the name. Like, let the ego be defended. a little bit.
No, that's fine. The guard looks at you and just goes, like the eyes widen on this fella, and he goes, "All right, your funeral. Follow me." And he
Already
walks you
dead,
back.
jackass.
Okay. Yeah. So you all are led back to a very plain tent, not even the size of a commander's tent. And inside you see Kelzer, who appears to be sipping a glass of brandy. Um, and you walk in. The guy doesn't introduce you. He doesn't want to enter the tent. Like it's pretty obvious that he doesn't want to be there. So he just waves you in, goes, "There you go." And as you walk in, Kelzer looks up and goes, "Oh, I recognize you. You're new.
You
How
have them all
can I help
pissing
you?"
themselves.
How else would I have them? Also, we're spirits. They don't really do that.
I think they would find a way to do it if they could.
I mean, maybe. So what brings you to my humble encampment?
Well, me personally, you came here very recently, which means you were very recently in the city, correct?
Uh, you'll have to be more specific. I've been in 2 cities recently. He smiles at you, like just obviously knowing what you meant, but she wants you to say it out loud as she hands you a a decanter full of brandy and an empty glass.
Kind of just passes the brandy bottle over to Frankie. I drink wine.
I don't.
Ah,
Is this any good?
I mean, it's the best you can get down here right now. I'm sure we'll have more when we take it. I mean, we acquire it. Ah, screw it. We'll take it.
I'm having a brain fart. DM, remind me of the name of the city from the Red Opera.
Oh, the Shadelands. It would have been Yonkaf.
Thank you. I'm speaking about young Cat.
Oh, yes, yes. Wow, I guess I didn't have the right one in mind. Yes, I was there very recently. I stabbed my beloved. He stabbed me, and then we were here. The first time I felt something in years.
They're happy to be here.
Oh, yes. Ever since I got here, things have been different. They've been phenomenal.
Are we really
That's
leading with beloved? Because he seems to hate your rotten guts.
Oh,
the
he
line between love and hate is very thin.
Sure.
it's the same coin. All you got to do is just put it on its side and pull a few strings and provide enough sustenance. The point is it's complicated, but only for him. I I think he's wonderful. Although I wish he was a little more assertive.
Somehow I feel the
I'm
issue
hearing
is he.
possessive and kind of cunty, but you know, if that's love for you, that fucking works.
Right. Well, in the vein of young Cat, how were things? I mean, clearly you were in the midst of quite the intense fight, so if that was on the part of the accursed god, or if you were just flirting, is up in the air.
I mean, we're all kind of part of the big picture, aren't we? Like, yeah, there was a big fight going on. Of course I was in the middle of it. Off in the distance, Dorian and Lacroix measuring their proverbial penises. Meanwhile, I'm out here doing the hard work.
How long have they been actively in their dick measuring competition? It was since Fate left, correct?
Oh, No. Actually, I mean, the war's been kind of ongoing, little skirmishes, but until Lacroix came back, what was it? I don't know, like a few months ago. It didn't really have any bite to it, no girth to really push it forward until now.
Did
But
you have to use the word
oh, he
I mean,
looks
the
you dead in the
irony
eye
of
and
it
goes,
being Lacroix.
absolutely. You said you like wine, yes?
Yes.
She reaches behind her into a cabinet, opens a door, and pulls out a vintage like Chianti. Like I'm not good with wines. Whatever. It's a Pinot Noir. All right, here you go. Um, whatever vintage your character would love, that's what she pulls out. She pulls out a nice crystal glass, and she goes, "Here. I know that we've had bad blood, but I mean, what's a little spilled blood between ladies? Am I right?"
Didn't you have a different side piece the last time like she was in Yonkoth?
You're gonna have to be more specific. I have a lot of side pieces, as you call them.
There was one. Let me see if I remember. Like, I was a kid the last time I saw this dude, but what was his name? Rich dude. Your sister really liked him. You couldn't have.
Oh,
Oh, are you talking about the vampire we tried to help and failed to help, and we got turned into rabbits when we tried to help him? And is that one?
Yeah. Uh,
oh my goodness.
I know his name out of character. In character, I do not. So, for your purposes, John, his name is Zale.
Yes. Oh yes. Zale. Yes. I specifically stole him because it would upset my sister,
That'll work out.
and it worked out quite well. My sister's moved on though. She's not been around for quite a while. My other sister, however, she's been fighting like the Dickens, and she is excited. She's going to be so heartbroken that Riva is down here.
I mean, she'll get down here eventually, so I imagine it's not going to bother her for too long.
That's fair. That's very true. So, what, pleasantries aside, polite conversation aside, what brings you to the camp? It's obviously not to take my wine and waste my time. You're obviously here for something. What can I give you to get you out of my beautiful hair?
I mean, me specifically, I would love to know what you know about. Look, how did you say that bastard's name? LaCroix?
Oh,
I can't keep
yes.
a straight face for that. How he came back.
Oh, yes. How he came back? Oh, we don't really know. We know that resurrection magic, for whatever reason, started working again, but we tried to keep that hush hush, silencing people left and right that we knew the information. But those damn legionnaires found the information anyway, and then made a deal with that bastard Alios, whom we were working with.
You made a deal with the thieves guy and you didn't see the backstabbing coming on that? Like, that is a little bit on y'all.
No, we figured he would. We just didn't catch it in time.
Mm.
Much
Still kind of on
slipperier
y'all.
than we thought. A lesson well learned. We took care of that little problem after we found out, of course. He's not dead, mind you.
Oh,
Right now,
Didn't
he's
have.
tied up in a dungeon.
you
I
couldn't have
mean,
made a teaser on us and just killed him?
Why would we do that? Then he'd be down here with us, causing us more problems. Keeping him alive is much more on brand right now, for reasons that you don't understand. But I have started to learn, and they are truly fascinating.
to be like, it's been a while since he's been tied up. He could probably stand the practice on the knots.
I mean, perhaps, yeah.
That's more
We
towards Augustine than her. Because Frankie would 100% know who Aelios is.
You know, you're not wrong, and I hate that you're not wrong because I did not need that mental image. I guess the other thing is, I'm truly curious. I understand you like to kill. Killing is fun for you. It's pleasurable, etc., etc. I personally think it's too much of a messy business, but all that aside, why are you still targeting the Legionnaires? Don't get me wrong. I have no love for Legionnaires, but you have no king to serve here. You
Oh,
could quite literally start a whole different life sort of down here. So why
you
hold on to this?
you know, you are absolutely right. Why do I do the things I do? She stands up and she like kind of walks over to a side table. And on this side table, you see like just instruments of all sorts of destruction. Like, and then while like she just like kind of looks over each one of them and she goes, I mean, quite frankly, because it's fun. I mean, why do we make choices at all? Why wouldn't we go out and do our own thing? Like, I mean, just be free, right? Be free. Don't worry about the things that hold you back. Don't worry about kings or guards or guard captains. Don't worry about any of that. And as she's saying this,
Can I insight check that?
you can absolutely insight check that. Augustine, she has your attention wrapped, so I'm not going to give you this one because she is very pointedly distracting you.
That's a 23.
So
You see this right like seconds. There's nothing you can do. You see it happening in real time, and it's so fast that you're not quite sure what happens. You see her hand kind of rest on the back of like what appears to be a sword. And as she does that, a knife appears out of her gauntlet and slides into her hand. And before you can even move, Augustine, you are wrapped in attention as she is on one side of the room. You see darkness, flail, and shadows, and she steps out from behind you in your own shadow. She grabs you by the back of your head, slits your throat. You fall to the ground, ash. Frankie, you're not quite sure what to do with this. He looks at you and goes, it's fine. She'll be back.
Yeah, okay.
We cut over to another scene. It's dark. It's damp. Augustine, I need you to make a strength check.
okay, you had to pick the thing that I'm not great at. I'm great at like everything else. That is my 1 plus 0.
You have a +1 right now.
Uh,
Cool.
I just want you to see that.
So you, using all of your force, push off what is above you is a stone slab, and moonlight comes down on you. And as you look at the moonlight coming down on you, you see your arms, but they're not your arms. They're decaying, rotted flesh. Some of your fingers are missing. There's bone you can see through, and the smell is awful. And that's where we'll pick up in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
You
This
fucker.
has been a presentation of Biscuit Tin RPG and Storyteller's Forge. If you want to support us, feel free to go to biscuittinrpg.com. You can pick up a copy of The Black Ballad from me, or if you want to support the studio more directly, you can actually go and find them on BackerKit, Chronicles of the Crossing. We have, as I said, 4 amazing authors, as well as if you want to pick up the campaign book there, that as well is there for you to get your little graspy paws on. If you're more inclined to watch some D&D and you have some time tomorrow, come join us for City of Illumination, where we all make worse decisions than I allow my players to make. We'll see you tomorrow.